we had Nate Bargatze here just a few weeks ago, and he told us about the George Washington sketch. And is it true you were a part of the writing staff that wrote this sketch for Nate, Mikey?
Yes, that is correct. Along with Streeter Seidel, we wrote the first one, and then the second one we had some help from Mike DiCenzo at the show. There he is. There's President Washington. He is the perfect George Washington. It's unbelievable. You would never think when he first came on that he would just fit the role so well, but there's like a stoic nature to like Nate sometimes, and then like all the imagery of Washington. He's just kind of like chilling with a straight face. So the two just merged so well. You would never think they would mesh so well, but he was perfect.
What led to the idea of doing something like that to begin with, Mikey?
My colleague Streeter is obsessed with history and is always obsessed with America's weird weights and measurements. So that's what spurned the idea, and then we kind of tried to think of the most stakes and kind of most like dramatic environment to place this conversation, and it eventually led to George Washington telling his troops, this is why we're fighting. This is what America's going to be all about. We're going to use yards and miles, and everyone else is going to use kilometers. It is insane when you think about it. When you really kind of like start to think about it for more than 5 minutes, you're like, why? It just the metric system is so easy and simple. Yet we're like, nope, feet, yards, to the point where there has to be two of everything, like kilometers and miles per hour. So, and then Nate just absolutely crushed it. It was just one of those cool SNL things where kind of you can't really plan it. There's just some weird alchemy in the air where the right host and the right material, and it just kind of comes alive. We did not expect the response. We really liked the sketch, and throughout the week, it didn't feel like it felt fine, but then when Nate got in front of an audience, it just kind of came alive.
He said that he was not expecting it to maybe make the show even, and that in dress rehearsal, it crushed so significantly that it was a no-brainer it was going to make it, is what he told us.
Yeah, it felt like it was on thin ice, and because on its face, the blocking is just literally Nate crossing back and forth. So it just felt like, I hope this works. So doing it in kind of the crew's always nice and laugh, but at rehearsals without an audience, you're like, we'll see. And then felt kind of shaky. And then, at dress rehearsal. And it was like late in the show too. It was like, I want to say after the second music. Anything after second music, you're like, we'll see. This is where the experimental stuff goes. And we're like, ooh, second to last. Yikes. Not the best placement. But then, it went really well, and it rose. It was a big come up, a big glow up.
That was amazing, Mikey. No doubt about it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.